All right, this is David Morgan of themorganreport.com. And this is a special podcast. I say special because I've been an ambassador for the LODE Project for a very long time. In fact, from the inception, and I'm always looking at new angles on the monetary question. Still have not overcome the hurdle that gold and silver are money and just about everything else is credit. So Nick is the Chief Operating Officer of the LODE Project. And Nick, I know you can't explain everything in 5 minutes, but you might direct everybody viewing this video where they can go to get a couple of really well done videos on the project. And also after that, it's a multi-part question. I'd like to talk about AUX, AGX, and LODE Pay International.
Absolutely, David. It's always a pleasure to talk and be with you. So thank you again for having us and for your faith in the project as always as an ambassador. So LODE at its heart of hearts is a project that aims at restoring gold and silver to the monetary system. And if you're interested in this vision and this idea, I highly recommend you guys head over to LODE.one, that's LODE.one, where you can find the core website that'll have all of those awesome videos, introductory videos that are going to give you the full picture about what the project is, what our ecosystem looks like, and how you can play a part in that ecosystem. But as you requested, David, I'll break it down into three chunks. LODE has three different assets that it produces in its ecosystem. It has digital gold, which is our AUX. It has our digital silver, which is our AGX, and it has our LODE token, which is our virtual equity asset. So the way that it works is that individuals, investors, institutions like yourself have idle silver that's sitting around collecting dust, and they can put that precious metals to work again as actual currency circulating out into the world. So when somebody comes in and they invest in a LODE token, what they do is they either contribute their own personal physical silver, or they go through one of our bullion partners to purchase bullion that we then add to our monetary reserves. And we take that digital silver and digital gold that's contributed, and we turn it into the two other currencies that go out into the world and trade as money. So in exchange for purchasing a LODE token with this silver or gold that you may have, you get your LODE token. And this entitles you to have ownership of the entire LODE ecosystem. And every 52 days, you're going to receive a payout in AGX in our digital silver. So hopefully that's clear as mud. It's not too different from how traditional stocks or equities would work. It's just presented on that distributed ledger technology, on blockchain technology, making it 24 hours fast and easy to use. Then we have our two assets that we produce from this monetary mass that we've been building. So people have been buying LODE tokens, we've been accumulating silver and gold, and we're turning it into these currencies, these AGX and this AUX. AUX, every single AUX coin is representative of one vaulted, audited, insured milligram of gold. Similarly, AGX is 1 gram of vaulted, audited, and insured silver. And by owning these assets that are also built on blockchain, but are completely global, they're universal, they're fast, they work at the same speed as a credit card or a debit card, and again, they're distributed, so there's no one central key point of failure or ownership within the project. But you, as an owner of this AGX and this AUX coin, you are the owner of this silver. So you asked the question a little bit earlier on, why would somebody who is perhaps a little bit apprehensive about this digital gold and this digital silver get in? Well, you have the ability to redeem this gold and silver, right? So if you come to me with 100 ounces worth of AGX and you say, I'd like my silver, please, we are obligated to provide that for you, right? So it's really not too different from how you would vault silver normally, but you have the added benefit of, while this silver is in this digital state, you can spend it on goods and services to create better, stable money for the world right now. Because inflation, David, as you know, it's no secret, inflation is going crazy. Inflation is going crazy all over the world. We're seeing it in the United States, we're seeing it in Canada, we're seeing it in almost all developed nations, and people are looking for alternatives. And there's really, as far as I can see, and as far as a lot of history can confirm, no better alternative than precious metals when it comes to creating a stabilized form of money. So I'll put the ball back over to you, David, because I just slammed a lot of information on you, but hopefully this gives you a baseline. And again, if you're interested in learning more and getting a fuller picture, please head over to LODE.1, LODE.1.
Yeah, I think that's the best summation. Just, you can't explain it all in a lot of time, but you gave us a good overview, Nick. I'd just like to point out a couple things. One is that the monetary mass is where you do put in metal into the project, and you get every 52 days you're rewarded for that in either AGX or AUX. I'd also like to point out that you don't have to participate in that side whatsoever. So if you're just interested in moving into and out of a stable currency, and when I say stable, the mass of gold never changes. Gold is the monetary hitching post of the universe. It's that stable. What isn't stable is what is the dollar, euro, Canadian dollar, or Aussie dollar fluctuation against something that's stable. So let's get that squared away. Most people in the project understand that, and there's a lot of people coming to the, let's say, knowledge base that inflation is destroying the currency. Gold and silver are stable. Having made that comment, Nick, I'm going to ask you a question I ask almost every miner that I interview, and that is, what makes you different from the rest of them?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we are one of the first of our kind. Silver, especially in the digital market right now, is highly underrepresented. A lot of competitors to us right now, they're on blockchains, but they're just treating it like you would buy and hold gold and silver traditionally. And there's nothing wrong with that, don't get me wrong. But what we're interested in is creating money for the people, by the people, right? So making it so that you can use this gold and silver and spend it and send it in seconds, in nanoseconds, versus just holding on to this asset and speculating on it. We want you to be able to use this for goods and services, to pay your groceries, for your kids' college tuition, whatever it may be. So it's not just digital gold and silver. It's an entire digital gold and silver monetary system that we are building. And that, I think, that perspective and that ecosystem that we're creating is what really differentiates us from the other players in the market, which are more or less just digital gold and silver bullion.
Let's explore that a little bit deeper, Nick. People that know me fairly well know I'm pretty partial to Mexico for a lot of reasons. One, it's usually #1 producer of silver in the world. Number two, I'm very friendly to the culture. And lastly, I actually have, a living quarters down there, or a condo, I should say. That's what it is, and have had for many, many years. So I'm pretty familiar with Mexico, not only through all the mining visits I've done over the last 2 decades, but also going there on vacation business. Having said all of that, I want to make this point. A lot of people in the U.S. and others, but primarily in the United States, like to send money back to Mexico because part of their family is there, maybe their sister, uncle, aunt, whatever. And it's very cumbersome, really. I mean, they can set up a Western Union account, but it takes time, effort, and it's extremely expensive to turn your USD and transport it to Mexico. So I think that's an area I'd just like to specifically have you address as far as how would that work with the LODE Pay project.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you touched on something that is really, really important, and one of the big disruptions that we're seeing in the digital currency space right now, in the blockchain and cryptocurrency markets, is the ability to create truly universal currencies, and in our situation, truly universal gold and silver. So when you go to a Western Union and these traditional options, as you said, it's so expensive. But with LODE and LODE Pay, with our technology, within a few minutes, you're able to download our mobile wallet, buy some digital gold and silver, send it to whoever that may be, family member, spouse, et cetera, and they will be able to cash it out to their native currency, all within a couple minutes time. And that's really quite profound. And we're doing this at a fraction, just a tiny fraction of the cost of using a traditional system like Western Union. And it again, just to walk through the process, it's really as simple as downloading a mobile wallet, opening up an account, making a purchase with a credit card, or very soon we'll have ACH payments coming online as well, direct banking type features. Just buying that digital gold and silver, whatever is going to suit you best, and sending it to your partner's wallet, wherever they may be in the world. It could be Mexico, it could be Singapore. And instantly, so long as that person is using our technology, they're going to be able to settle back to the native currency, which is going to suit them. And that is pretty profound.
Another side comment. Everyone knows, well, not everyone, very few people, but some in the project know I bought a coffee with LODE years ago when we were kind of in the beta test. But more recently, one of my friends in the United Kingdom, in fact, he's a member of the Morgan Report, and he wanted to buy a book. And normally it's a real pain to ship to the UK and all that. And with, we're going to have to edit this.
Yeah, no worries.
So I just like to add a side comment there. I bought a coffee with the LODE Project. Sorry, one more time. I'll get it right this time.
It's all good.
Nick, a sidebar, the convenience. I sold one of my books, The Silver Manifesto, to someone in the UK using LODE Pay. And it was like a 3-second transaction. And normally that is a real pain because it's currency exchange. We're going from, the British pound to USD and all that. So it just shows the ability of and it's not just LODE, I get that, but we are different than many, which you just explained. So I'd like to move on from there, but this is the main impetus for why I want to do this podcast, and I'm sure there'll be more. But recently, LODE Pay, it's my understanding that the AGX and AUX are on Hotbit, which is one of the leading exchanges doing over 250 million daily volume. Mm-hmm. And I understand it to be that AGX is the first silver-backed stable coin to be on this exchange. So tell me about that, and let me add a second question. In terms of liquidity, what does it mean for silver?
Absolutely. So, Hotbit was a fantastic opportunity. Cryptocurrency exchanges allow us to access bigger markets in different regions of the world. Largely LODE, while it's active in 100 and over 150 countries, we've generally had most of our following come from the Western European region. By going on Hotbit, it's enabled us to open the doors to an entirely new region of the world in a really, really big way. But alluding to your first question, where you said it's your understanding that that AGX is the first silver-backed cryptocurrency to hit this exchange. That's true, but it's also the first major silver-backed cryptocurrency to hit a high volume exchange, which is an incredible accomplishment, right? There are other gold competitors in the market, especially within crypto. There's several different competitors, but when you think about, David, just how big industrially and how big the silver market is. It's completely undervalued and underrepresented in the digital space. And so this is a huge leap forward for precious metals backed currencies, and it's the first of many. It's the first of many. We have intentions of listing on more exchanges as time progresses here. And it's important because if you are intending to be not just an asset that you just buy and hold, and but a true monetary system, a true currency, giving people access in financial markets is one of the most essential ways that you can do that. Right now, when people trade their Bitcoin or their cryptocurrencies, they're going to USDT, right? And they're going to USDC, which you and I have already come to the conclusion on. It's a depreciating asset, right? So the longer you hold that USDT, the more it's going to lose value. So why are you taking your wins? Why are you taking your wins in USDT? Why not something that has stability, something that has proven the test of time, like gold, like silver? And that is why AGX being represented in these markets is such a huge leap forward. It's a new vehicle for traders, speculators in financial markets to gain access to this currency and to begin putting it into a wider circulation. And as the buying volume increases, of course, we're going to be selling more coins into circulation. So it means that more adoption is happening, and ultimately, what it means for liquidity is that it's going to become easier and easier and easier the wider the circulation becomes for people to cash out whether that's to USDT or whether that's to a euro or a won or a yen or what have you. So hopefully that answers your question, David. Back to you.
Oh yeah, more than sufficient. So last May, LODE participated in what I'll call Silver Squeeze. It was pretty much initiated by the Reddit subgroup Wall Street Silver. There's another one coming up in August. So can you tell us what happened on the last one and what your plans are for the next one?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, the initiative with the first Silver Squeeze was to follow alongside this Wall Street Silver community in their attempt to squeeze the physical supply in the market and drive the value of silver up. As you and I both know, the metals market has been heavily manipulated in a long time, and this group, this Wall Street Silver group, really came out of what we were experiencing in with the GameStop and the Wall Street Bets community, right? And they said, okay, well, we can do this with GME, we can do this with precious metals as well, and that is really where the inspiration came from. And you know, this time we're taking it even further. You know, the campaign was a great success. You know, both in spirit, we saw a lot of love from the community in this, and we committed to matching the contributions of our community. And showing the receipts of that. So that was a tremendous success, and we're looking to follow up on that this time by not just squeezing the physical supply off the street, but squeezing Wall Street as well. LODE has come into the ability to access delivery options for the futures market, and it's our intent to begin squeezing not just the physical supply market, but also you know, the reserves that are in traditional financial markets, and to accumulate that and bring that into LODE's digital ecosystem. And again, with the spirit and the vision of driving silver to where it belongs. Now, do I think that this will be like a one-stop shop overnight? We're going to change the world and all the manipulation will go out the door? Of course not. That's a silly notion. But I think the more we do these events and the more we raise awareness around these types of campaigns and this initiative, the bigger the volume becomes over time, and the more successful these campaigns will inevitably be. So I think the first one was a great launch and pilot, you could call it, and we're excited to do it again in August and actually not just squeeze that physical supply from bullion dealers, which really, let's face it, are largely for the everyman like you and me, and actually start sticking it to Wall Street and squeezing the supplies that they've had in the futures market.
Well said. I just have a couple more comments. As I was an interviewee, not the interviewer, I was asked by the gentleman, what you know, what's the purpose? I forget the exact question, but the implication was, what's silver's purpose? Why would you do this? Why would you want to get in there and have, you know? And I said, look, go back to 1900. If you didn't have silver, you didn't have money. So it's only been like 100 years that if you know, weren't and Simon said, I was going to say it's not because, well, let me start over. Sorry.
All good.
So I was on a recent interview, Nick, and the interviewer asked me, you know, why is silver so important? What would it look like if it was a monetary asset? And I go, well, just go back and look at 1900. Unless you had silver, you didn't have money. It's only been in the last 100 years where we've kind of been brainwashed or absolutely demanded, because government is forced to take what's called legal tender. But if we were of our own free will, we'd be able to use whatever we deemed, you know, contract. You to me, I mean, you want silver, I want silver, fine. So we're reinstituting that in the modern age, which means a digital backed cryptocurrency by gold and silver. Some people refer to it as God's money. And I think this has got far more potential than most people realize at this moment in time. I truly believe, and I've said it before, and yes, I'm biased because I've been involved with LODE from the beginning, but I think the next big surge in the crypto space is going to be asset-backed cryptocurrencies, not just limited production of them or the mining, the difficulty of the mining process or whatever. I think people, as this inflation marches forward, are going to wake up more and more and look for something that is stable. As we started the interview, it was stable about what's stable? Gold, the monetary hitching post of the universe. It doesn't change. Fiat fails every time. So Nick, back to you. Is there anything we haven't talked about you'd like to convey to our viewers?
Well, you know what? I think you really hit the nail on the head, and I think people have a fairly short memory. We're not reinventing the wheel here. I know blockchain technology can seem really intimidating and really scary, but really what we're just doing is we're taking an old standard that is universally understood, and we're marrying it with modern technology and giving it to you in a new, easy to use way. And I will say this, you know, if you're interested in exploring this and coming on over, come say hi to us. No obligation that you have to even create an account. Hop in our social channels. We've got a really great community of you know, sound money advocates that are there to help you gain comfort and learn what it means to be a part of this sound money revolution that we're creating. I'll say this, you know, we're not necessarily saying that you should go and throw your whole silver supply, but if you have 100 ounces laying around and you want to play a role in creating the monetary system of the future, I think LODE is a great way to diversify your portfolio. So come over, say hi. We don't bite. We're a friendly group of people. And once again, you can reach out to us at a LODE.one, LODE.one. And David, as always, it's a pleasure and an honor to be speaking with you. So thank you for having me.
Now the pleasure's all mine, Nick. Thank you.